The Republican National Committee put out a statement saying Harris would, quote, be a disaster in the White House. Political analyst Leslie Caughell joins us again from Virginia Wesleyan University. Leslie, appreciate you being here with us. With that fundraising in mind, $81 million in the last 24 hours, and with the statements we're getting from the GOP, how does this change the playbook for the Trump-Vance campaign?
I think there's probably a little level of disconcert in that campaign right now because they had a real strategy that was working, which was portraying President Biden as incapacitated and President Trump as strong. It was clearly resonating with voters, and particularly the voters they were looking to reach, which wasn't the moderate suburban woman in the swing district anymore. It was young male minority voters. And now their message doesn't work in quite the same way. So I think you really see them having to go back and retool a campaign that they had really been running well in a really refined way that the 2016 and 2020 Trump campaigns were not run.
What about her role as a past prosecutor? Do you think they're going to dissect that at all? I mean, is that going to come back to haunt her anyway, or is it going to help her campaign?
So that's certainly going to be a problem among more progressive voters. And it might even be a problem for her as she's trying to kind of shore up that progressive party base. But I think it's going to be a big part of her campaign. She can't run away from it. And crime is a concern for a lot of American voters. To the extent that they're concerned with crime, her history as a prosecutor could be an asset. And that is particularly true in those blue wall states, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, that she really needs to win. So I think it's certainly going to be more of an asset to her now than it was in 2020.
You mentioned some of those important swing states, Michigan, Pennsylvania. She's already received the endorsements from governors there. I mean, these are ambitious politicians who might otherwise have thrown their hat into the ring for this position. Are you surprised with how many Democrats have kind of come together within the last 24 hours to support her?
I'm really not. I don't think there was stomach in the Democratic Party for a real fight. They want to be unified and they want to beat the former President Trump in this election. The other thing I would say is candidates are really strategic about when they run because you really only have one chance to do it. And if you get one chance to run, you don't want to be running with 3 months in an election and no campaign organization behind you.
What about Virginia and North Carolina? We saw former President Trump have a rally here right after the first debate. We saw First Lady Joe Biden come to Virginia again, right around the first debate. Are they still going to be focusing as much on Virginia now that there's a change on the top of the ticket?
I don't think they'll be focusing quite as much on Virginia, but I still think they're going to have an eye on Virginia because clearly the numbers have not looked good for them in this state in the sense that President Biden is much closer than he was in the past election. And they're going to want to make sure that with Harris on the ticket, those numbers go up and it doesn't look like they have to fight and sink so many resources into this state.
Leslie, it's great having you here. You add so much context and perspective to a really important issue. And we're going to have you on again coming up in about 30 minutes. She'll be on at 13 News Now at 6.